The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd. And it's a little after 23rd. I was waiting for someone to correct me. I go and say 22nd, but everyone was quiet. It's the 23rd, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. And once again, this is CA Newry, and I shall be your host for today. Today is Man Down Mash of Wednesday. That means we can combine both shows together. Today we're talking about Junkanoo. Because there's more controversy. You think that row last time was big? This row spent all Junkanoo performance moving forward. You know what's coming up? What's coming up is Friday. Friday is Gumbe Festival. They end with Junkanoo. The JCNP say, you ain't gonna be with us. You can be clapping with your hands and say, ooh, Junkanoo. But you ain't gonna see no Junkanoo group. Mind you, they didn't pay no. They didn't pay people to rush, but that's okay. Coming up soon will be Fox Hill Day. That's a big event. I mean, I'm a Fox Hill. You're a Fox Hill, Aaron. You're supposed to rush. The Junkanoo, the JCNP said, ain't gonna be no rush out in Fox Hill.
The plantation master has spoken, I see.
See, I having problems.
They
have no
turned
problem.
Junkanoo into a whole plantation.
I have no problem with the JCNP being mad with the government, Mm-hmm. But you would need to fulfill your priorities and obligations.
I don't even have a problem with them not fulfilling their priorities and their obligations. But when you blatantly disregard a court order.
Okay, I can let you.
I just saying.
No. I understand. In the court order, you're talking about the Valley Boys thing. That's what you're talking about? Yeah, but that's the JCNP. That's what they do.
And that's here we are.
But I want people to call in because I do not understand what is happening. I have one or two articles I want Aaron to read into the record, right? That we can have some conversation about it. I need you to call in, Junkanoos to call in, to say either you're for it or against it, right? Do you understand what the government trying to do? And the overarching conversation is, do we need a Junkanoo? What do you call it? What do you call it? Authority.
National authority.
National authority.
Junkanoo authority.
An umbrella authority that controls all Junkanoo activities and festivals in the Bahamas.
Stop. See, that's the part right there. Right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
A national Junkanoo authority that does what?
Control all the Junkanoos and festivals.
Okay, a national Junkanoo authority could control all the Junkanoos, but why festivals?
Well, they could do dual roles.
Yeah, no.
Dual roles.
No.
You know, like how they have Junkanoos at national music, but our national music should be Gumbe?
It is Gumbe.
Yeah, but Junkanoo is officially it.
It's not.
I remember when they changed it.
Gumbe is...
No, I know when they changed it. I'm talking sense. I know when they changed it and have Junkanoo as our official music.
I see the problem started a long time.
I agree with you. It don't make sense.
The problem started a long time.
Yeah. So I have a clip there, Kermit. This is Mr. Mario Boleg, Minister of Youth, Sports
and Culture.
They just had a impromptu interview. He's going in the House Assembly of some sort, to table a bill or to propose something, whatever it is. And he had a short clip. It's a short clip where he's trying to explain exactly what is Junkanoo Authority. I'm going to go with this clip, and from there, we're going to go into the row. We're going to go into the row between the JCNP
Oh, good. Once we
and the government, and we're going to read their letters, right? And then we're going to also read some letters to the editors or people responding back and forth. We're trying to understand it. I'm going to see on my Facebook, I would be the devil's advocate and say here and there. Today, I'm going to be open-minded because this is real talk now. This is about John Canoe in the future. I'm going to try to be central, and where the chips fall, it is what it is, right? But Kermit, play that clip. Let's hear what Mario Boleg's saying, please. Thanks.
Right? And so the legislation is there to improve John Canoe overall approach, to ensure that the entire country and John Canoe and every island receive the same award. The authority would allow me to take your costume after you finish it instead of putting it in your garage, to buy it from you, sell it, and you make money from that. You understand me? The authority is there to empower John Canoers. And so the John Canoers who are not involved deep in the conversations with the JCMP will find out that they are missing out on a lot of true facts that will benefit them.
Now, this
Missing out on some true facts.
Right.
You should tell us the true facts. No one would be missing out on the true facts.
No, I don't want true facts.
What do you want?
I want either the truth or the facts. I don't want no true facts.
Man, there's such thing as true facts.
That's like real juice.
So let's start reading some of the articles, some of the response. I think I sent you the JCNP letter to the government. This letter came out after it has been announced that this John Canoe authority is going to be formed. And immediately...
Did you get this from their website?
But who website? The JCNP?
Yeah.
No, they had it on social media.
Oh, they didn't put it on the website.
I don't even know if they have a website. They have a website?
They do. I don't.
It works? It's like government stuff. They like the government. Okay, let's read that article.
They like the government, but
They're similar.
but they're not.
No, they're not. First,
I'll read the letter.
yeah, the JCNP. Let's give a history again. And I think we did this already. The JCNP is a government entity, or it's not a government entity? Is it a private entity?
The JCNP. I think they say in their statement. I got one here, Mr. Newry. Let me find it where the JCNP says that I think Christie Perry administration initialized it or inspired it or caused. Here we go. Empowered. Here we go. In a strongly worded statement, the JCNP says it does not accept the proposed bill, which they argue undermines 21 years of self-management since former Prime Minister Perry Christie empowered the John Canoe community in 2004.
So this was by the word empowered and by the Prime Minister. It technically said was enacted or made established by the government.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's leave it there.
Okay, let's stop right there. Let's go read the letter. Let's go straight to the letter so we can understand what's the row about.
All right. This is to Minister Boleg, re-proposed John Canoe Authority Bill. I write on behalf of the John Canoe Corporation, New Providence Limited. We acknowledge receipt of your communication of the purposed John Canoe Authority Bill 2025. We would wish to record respectfully that we do not agree with or accept the proposed bill as presented.
Okay.
They would wish to. Did something stop them from doing that? I continue reading. History records that in 2004, then Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie, in the spirit of independence embraced by the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in 1973, and in keeping with the commitment to empower its people, challenged the John Canoe community to assume responsibility for the management of their own parades. This visionary step towards the empowerment of the John Canoe community was met with full agreement and commitment by the John Canoe community, borne out by the JCNP's successful management of the parades these 21 years.
Success is subjective, right? Sometimes you get vexed. Thank God for Jeff Lloyd a couple of times because sometimes it's rough. But anyway, go ahead, finish.
It is puzzling then why the government would wish to reverse the decision made in 2024. Puzzled. Sing a song for them. They puzzled. Sorry. It is puzzling then why the government would wish to reverse the decision made in 2004, after 21 years of self-determination, harmony, and success. This even in...
Harmony? And the Valley Boys quit today, never running because the JCN was doing... No, finish. Sorry. I get flashback just now.
Yeah. I just...
This is the wording is throw me up. But finish reading, man. We got to catch up.
Yes, this even in light of the fact that members of one particular JCNP member group that are currently in a legal dispute with another JCNP member group have openly said through numerous publicly circulated voice notes and writings on various social media platforms that, quote, they, close quotes, through their personal affiliations and connections with officials in the highest levels of government are in the process of destroying the JCNP, to the point of offering members of the JCNP jobs affiliated with the proposed body. We also note with interest that there are elements of the document that are reminiscent of the current role, structure, and format of the JCNP, but does not speak or state clearly how the new proposed structure will coincide with the current role and responsibility of the JCNP as it pertains to the management of the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades, both of which have been managed by the JCNP for the past 21 years. We understand the government has the power to affect the proposed bill, and whilst we thank the government for all that it has done for the JCNP and our member Junkanoo groups here in New Providence over the past 21 years, it should also be noted and appreciated, I apologize, I'm reading from a phone, noted and appreciated that the Junkanoo parades are mostly homegrown, with its participants and volunteers soliciting from corporate Bahamas, donors, and in many cases funds from their own pockets to raise the bulk of their needed funding. It is only right that the people who produce their own parade should manage them themselves. Please find attached what our terms would be should the government of the Bahamas, and that's the end of the document that I could see.
Okay.
The picture doesn't...
I noticed a piece more, and hopefully I'll be able to find it so you can read it. They give some terms of what they want the government to pay. I saw they also did not consider the police force and how much the government have to pay the police officers to be out there. The Bahamas Power and Light, how much electricity and whatever it is for that also be there. The use of the government road or the Bahamian road and all that is a price tag, but they didn't consider that. They're just saying that seed money is all they get. But I want to understand the JCNP's mandate. Is their mandate to marshal the parade, or is their mandate to marshal all of Junkanoo? I don't know if they have the mandate to tell someone they cannot have Junkanoo practice.
Pause. Their mandate is to manage the parades. See, due to the nature of the construction of the group, they have assumed an authority that would not exist if the group was not constructed the way that it does. It's not the power of the JCNP that would suspend a parade. It's that the JCNP is made up of representatives of Junkanoo groups only. Like, that's it. That's who's the JCNP.
Okay.
It's only Junkanoo groups. The JCNP doesn't have the authority to shut down or suspend parades. What's happening is that the groups are making a decision. And that's a part of it. I want to let me just say this, right? I'm trying to get through this show. Political satire is my style, right? I'm trying to get through this show with a critique that is honest and authentic. But I don't want you all to think that I'm being any more disrespectful than what is being presented, right? Like, I know the Junkanoos are already upset about me. The Junkanoo people who they would roll over my foot if they see me. I notice, right? I see them. Even some of them talk to me. But the point is that what the JCNP said in that letter means nothing from you disregard a court order. What authority do you think you have? The only power you have to shut down the parades is that the group is composed of group members, and that's all. The body itself doesn't have the authority to do that.
Okay, let's go to this call-up, and I have the response by the government I want you to read into the record. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Yes, good morning again, Cecil.
Good morning.
Morning.
Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Let me finish my point this time now.
Anton, I could be honest with you. Two things. You don't come on this radio but 7 minutes of point to make when you could make the point in 1 minute, right? Don't do that. Come on, man. And don't suggest that you're being treated unfairly. I give you plenty time to talk. You're an articulate man. Say it quickly, man.
Okay, well, without interruption would be the quickest. And so to continue on.
Oh, boy. You think this is Bay Street?
Look, as it relates to this whole discussion, I completely stand with the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Minister Mario Boleg. I think that the JCNP, while they have a role to play, Junkanoo is the biggest national or cultural celebration of this country. And that does not belong in the hands solely of any private entity, including those that participate in the realm of Junkanoo, in the production of Junkanoo. What happened recently has exposed the weaknesses and given the legitimacy to why the government needs to step in and properly and comprehensively regulate and manage and oversee Junkanoo, putting all the legal arms in place to resolve issues current and that could arise future. That structure is not in place right now. Junkanoo right now, it's almost like it's a private grouping, a cartel, who's dictating powers well beyond what it is entitled to dictate. We can't have that in this country. We saw where a ruling was given by the Supreme Court of this country, and the JCNP did not and does not possess the authority to set aside, disrespect, and disobey any such ruling. But it went ahead and it did so. That was, to me, and I spoke out against it at the time that it was happening. To me, that signaled the loudest antennas possible in the whole saga with what was going on. That there needed to be a shift in how things happened and happen in Junkanoo moving forward.
Okay.
And I'll make this last point. Pardon me?
No, finish your last point.
Yeah. As it relates to what former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, insisted took place. Even with that happening, and I appreciate the spirit in which former PM Christie was speaking and operating. However, there needs to be a complete regulatory regime to go along with managing Junkanoo, which tells them specifically what they can do, what they can't do, and how.
I hear you.
They're so precocious. Anton, give that lecture to the PLP.
I like Anton's voice.
Yeah, give the lecture to the PLP. They should enjoy the lecture.
The Mario Boleg's response. And I see you, caller. Caller, coming to you next. But I want to get all of these iterations out to the public for people who haven't seen them as yet. Mario Boleg responded to the JCNP, and I want people to hear it. And so when you call it, you can respond to it. Go ahead.
Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture press release. Statement from the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture in response to the JCNP's suspension of Junkanoo activities. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture is extremely disappointed by the recent response of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, JCNP, to what is, in fact, a groundbreaking national initiative aimed at uplifting and transforming Junkanoo. It is regrettable that the JCNP has chosen to misrepresent the intent of the government and politicize a process that is rooted in transparency, consultation, and national development. Junkanoo belongs to the Bahamian people, not to any single group or island, and the government has a constitutional responsibility to ensure its future is secure, its reach expanded, and its potential fully realized. So stick a pin here. See, here's the thing. If we're talking about rake and scrape, right, or Gombe, then maybe we could be talking about a thing that is universal throughout the archipelago. But Junkanoo decidedly doesn't belong to every island. Junkanoo is not historically practiced by every island. If you put rake and scrape in that category.
Actually, that's not practiced throughout every island either. Only 2 islands rake and scrape came from.
No, but where it's practiced.
But yeah,
Historically,
But-
you find a broader scope of islands and a broader scope of demographic of people. You got far more white people or Bahamians of European descent participating in Rake and Scrape
Yeah.
than in Junkanoo.
yes. Finish read. Call, I come to you soon. Don't hang up.
All right, here we go. We continue. The purpose of the National Junkanoo Authority of the Bahamas Bill 2025 is to remove the government from the day-to-day management of Junkanoo and instead empower an independent statutory authority that reflects the full diversity of the Junkanoo community across the Bahamas. This is not a new idea. It builds on work that began in 1996 under various administrations and continues the call made by Junkanoo leaders themselves. This also builds on work started by now leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, who both advocated for a National Junkanoo Commission as far back as his time as Minister of Culture. Contrary to how the matter has been publicly portrayed, this initiative is not being forced upon the community nor developed in isolation. The draft legislation has already been circulated to Junkanoo stakeholders across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and the Family Islands. The bill was also shared directly with the JCNP, and the invitation for formal input remains open.
That's it.
That's it on this document, but I took a look at that as well, Mr. Newry, and I'm just trying to see and remember if that's the end.
Okay, look
of
for
the
that in the end.
statement.
Let's go to this call in the meantime as you search your notes. Go ahead, call. I'm giving an opportunity to respond to what's happening. It's a big row. Junkanoo suspended. If they saying if you supposed to have a funeral and have a Junkanoo rush out, you might just not get that Junkanoo rush out because Junkanoo suspended. If your Junkanoo group needs to have Bella's practice, that brass section practice, it might be canceled because Junkanoo activities in New Providence has been suspended. You might have to be like them Valley boys and import Junkanoo from Grand Bahama. That's how bad it is. But go ahead, caller.
Import them from Turks, eh?
No, it's all Turks. Yeah, but that's what we have to do. Go ahead, caller. Caller girl once. Caller girl in Christ. Let's go next one. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, after
Doing well.
Yeah, I listened to y'all reading of the press conference from both people, press statement. It appears that the government is trying to replace the JC, whatever it's going to do, that with their people.
Turn your
Radio down. The JCNP and turn your radio down.
Sorry about that. It appears that they are just replacing the leadership of those things. It still seems they could be doing the same thing. So you read earlier that when Mario said that they're going to initiate a statutory board, a body. Okay? That's what he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by saying that, you're saying that, okay, what y'all doing, or y'all people, we get with y'all and we can have some people doing the same thing.
I correct you there. This authority will absorb the JCNP. So the JCNP will still be there. I assume, and this is where the JCNP have some quarrel, they want to know if when you absorb them, will they be managing the parade? But the authority will be doing bigger things in terms of negotiating prices for costumes, in terms of making sure that Junkanoo is spread throughout the islands, and activities, negotiations like that. So this authority is bigger and broader than what the JCNP does at this present time.
But to the caller's point, in some aspects, it appears as if they are creating an industry, right? Like they're creating a formalized, regulated space for the activity that already takes place to happen, right? And so this idea that we'll price the costume and then the costume can be sold and not just kept in your backyard. Junkanoo's been pricing their costumes and selling them for years.
The government's trying to help them.
Right, by creating an industry with regulations and enforcement mechanisms and protections.
And checks and balances.
Yeah.
And we also need to appreciate on whether Junkanoos want this. Is there a need for them to have a space where their costumes and their activities can be regulated and they get access to such things?
Yeah, but all this could have been done without them defunking the authority of
Okay, pause.
How?
If it could have been done, it would have been done, eh?
It can't be done. They're doing it now. They're going to enact it in law.
No,
It's never been enacted. So what the government said they want to enact it in law. People saying they don't want it enacted in law. They don't want to get the protection. And that's where the dilemma is. No. They said the government said they ain't gonna be control it no more. They will remove themselves completely out of Junkanoo, and whoever, how they get selected might be a problem. But wait a minute. Whoever get in charge of this authority will no longer would have to go to government and ask for anything anymore, because that authority will be working independent of the government.
Okay, you know there's an area where the quote on National Insurance Board and those agencies, government agencies, what is not, would you say it's not government, right?
Yeah, the quasi government.
Like the National Insurance, the BEC, the former BEC and stuff like that. They were not government, right? But who control it?
No, they are operated independent of government. Just
But
that they have
who control it.
no, they
have
still operated independent of government.
Right, but that's why they have leadership in controlled by government. The leadership of those agencies were appointed by government. So by extension, they are still controlled by government. Think about it.
Anything
Think
for the
about it.
national interest, anything of the national interest. And then go back to this question: who does Junkanoo belong to? The Junkanoo says the Junkanoo belongs to the Bahamian people. However, the Junkanoo parade belongs to them. So if they say they don't want to have no more Junkanoo at all in the future, it's theirs. The government cannot intervene. The people of Bahamas cannot intervene because it belongs to the JCNP. I and many other people have issues with that because we're saying that Junkanoo cannot just belong to you. The parade itself must belong to us. And that's where the debate comes in.
The agency is made of all of the groups. So it's not just one person.
Yeah, conflict of interest still, though. See, that's the thing. The way that the group is composed presents a massive conflict of interest, and nothing emanating from the JCNP suggests that they have mechanisms to manage that conflict of interest. And we see two stark examples or spaces where that's happened. The Valley Boy fiasco and the Prodigal Sons issue, right? And so the problem isn't with the JCNP as a body and what it's been mandated to do. The problem, I think, is with the composition of the body that creates a massive conflict of interest that hasn't been able to manage itself. That conflict of interest has to be managed.
It has become a union.
To correct it. But the government has to correct it, I guess. We get to make measures to put more teeth into certain
right.
And that's where we are. So JCNP said the government can't correct it because they're independent. And the government saying, and they say, the people are saying they don't want to be corrected. They're saying they don't want to be corrected.
The JCNP say they fine. The JCNP say they fine, They say they don't have a problem with disregarding the court order. They say they don't have a problem with giving the prodigal sons money even though the prodigal sons can't get to be. The JCNP say they don't see a problem with anything that's been happening. They don't see a problem with the parade starting so late and ending so late, right? Like none of these things. You see the way them say they've been managing for 21 years with pure lone success. There's a massive conflict of interest.
Ms. Crane, we as the people, we are blaming one or two individuals. We are the blame. We are the people.
See,
supposed to demand and agitate for changes.
The people are doing that.
And this is where it comes in. JCNP said they don't have to listen to the people.
No, they can listen to people.
That's what they said, though. You're not acknowledging that's what they said. The Junkanoo parade belongs solely to them, not the people.
When I hear
that,
they say only a real Junkanoo could understand the beat of the drum. That must be true because all I hear is we disregard the court, we disregard the government, we disregard our own regulations, we disregard the people. I obviously can't understand the beat of that drum.
But thank you very much, Carl.
I personally believe. All right.
Go ahead.
Man, your contribution was great, though, Carl.
I personally believe had Paulus stayed out of it, it would have been a different outcome than by Paulus getting involved with it. That's what would muddy the water, politics. But I think we as the people got to stand stronger and demand certain things in all aspects of this country.
Yes.
We have to stand up and fight for what we know is right.
Yes,
as a collective body, the majority rule, let's deal with that.
Good.
Let's fight for what we need.
Let's go to the next call. I have another one read up. I want you to read from a Junkanoo. that I want you to read into record.
All right.
Okay.
I just get a quick text here that say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Y'all is just throw every new thing away. And I want to say, text, I agree there's need for reform. I also have issues with what's being iterated by the minister, right?
Yes.
So we got to interrogate it.
Yes, I have no problem with it. I can't see how the minister can say he's moving forward and then there's a problem. Something is wrong. Let's go to the next caller once we get up that next article. Go ahead, caller.
Well, it is Kendall Rice along with you and Aaron Newry.
Go ahead.
Bremen!
You all right?
Yeah, man.
I was right here listening to you.
Good.
But look here. The thing is, everybody are joking. All of them are joking, because guess what? We who rushes, we doesn't get paid. Some of those guys were rushes, and probably some of those women, probably they just get paid, right? Because they handle in the money. When they get the money, they want to do with it. But people like me and a lot of others, the majority of others, we doesn't get anything. And we put our own money into it for whatsoever we want or need, okay? So all of them are joking. If we don't want to rush, we don't have to rush. We rush because we want to rush and we like to rush. But nobody gives us anything. So all government and everybody got to get that in their thick head. If we don't want to rush, we don't want to rush. And if we don't want to rush, we're not going to rush.
Okay.
That's right. You
you
think you can tell us white people in the spirit where we have to rush and don't rush, but we ain't for that.
Let's go to the next caller before I read this email. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Green. Good morning, Mr. Newry.
Morning.
Yeah, I was listening there, and I was listening to the last call, important points, but I'm just in relations or juxtaposing what Aaron said as it relates to some of the irregularities that goes on while the JCNP sits where it's at, like paying groups and then not coming on base with, et cetera, at the time frame. There's a lot of enhancement need to be made, so I'm looking at maybe an external oversight committee containing members of the JCNP along with the governing party, Clay Sweeting and these people I'm talking. Now, some of the implementations that Clay Sweeting is talking about, like buying the costumes and monetary incentive, right? But as it relates to the people saying the government pumps money into the Junkanoo groups, I don't have no idea how much it is per group, respectively. But what I'm saying is that the money comes from the taxpayers. And this is not a joke here. Maybe we should have a referendum because Junkanoo has become bigger than the JCNP. So for them to suggest what CNU is saying that they will stop all parades and practices, etc., we can't allow the JCNP to kidnap Junkanoo, so to speak. And I'm not, because I have young children, and so, Aaron, I get dressed up, we go on to Gombe last week, and when they reached downtown, I was ashamed because my fiancé said she checked, but no one was out. I thought it was Gombe summer started now. It's this Friday, right?
Yeah.
So it would be very naive and counterintuitive and ignorant, and counterproductive to say you wouldn't rush because some private, let's say you have a private engagement and people want to pay you to do a Junkanoo rush. You see what I'm saying, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't do that? And so for me, if the government like didn't include members from of the JCNP and have a deductive reasoning and counter a conversation dialogue with them, then I see it as they usurping the JCNP, which isn't. I see how the JCN could feel, but Junkanoo has become bigger than both of them, and so we don't want politics to infect Junkanoo too much like we saw doing the COVID signs, but we need something to be done. But nobody should have the power to kidnap Junkanoo from the Bahamian people because it's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. And Ben Ugla is close under the show. Play the song Saxon in the Valley. I don't know who to sing that. That's
Stalid. That's Stalid, cousin Stalid. We miss you.
Man, listen to me. I beat up and down when he sing, man. Especially when he sing the one tied to the PLP in there for them. Give thanks, yeah.
Thanks. Let's quickly read that before we go to the next caller. I see you, caller. We can just quickly read this this note.
Response to the JCNP letter dated 21st of July 2025 on the proposed Junkanoo Authority Bill. Title, Government must be steadfast in moving Junkanoo management forward. Dear editor, I've read the letter signed by Dion Miller, chairman of the JCNP, and dated 21st of July 2025, and having had an opportunity to scrutinize its content, I am totally dismayed over the arrogance of this individual and his followers who are seeking to extort the government for their own selfish gain. This is not about advancing culture in the Bahamas. This is the JCNP who is currently being advised by Silbert Ferguson, an individual who has never supported the government and who, in my opinion, has an axe to grind because he and Miller, along with a few other opportunists, seized the proposed National Junkanoo Authority.
I like Ferguson.
Of Uncle Ferguson, yeah, of the Bahamas Bill 2025. We don't have to agree. I still like him. The Bahamas Bill 2025 as an enemy that seeks to interfere with their current and lucrative business venture called Junkanoo. What is most disturbing in all of this is the fact that many of the Junkanoo groups who have representation in this private club, JCNP, are allowing themselves to be manipulated and thereby making them complicit in attempting to hold the national cultural event hostage, all because they want to be defiant, selfish, and greedy. I am advised that the emancipation rush, which is a staple in the Fox Hill community, is now in jeopardy because Junkanoo groups have been instructed to boycott the event unless the government acquiesces to the demands of the two Pied Pipers, Dion Miller and Silbert Ferguson. What is most absurd, and quite frankly has me flabbergasted, is the notion that Junkanoo groups, as I understand it, are being further advised by the JCNP not to conduct practices, and that those groups that defy this order would face consequences which could result in their membership with the JCNP being reconsidered. Does this sound like a grouping who wishes to advance culture in the Bahamas? I implore the government to be like the three Hebrew boys and not to bow to the evil dictates of this grouping.
Someone got a bow.
I rebuke the whole imagery and language, but I continue reading and I reiterate. I implore the government to be like the three Hebrew boys and not to bow to the evil dictates of this grouping, who are all hell-bent on destroying the culture rather than building it up. The Junkanoo parades in recent years have been marred with much controversy, and having read the proposed bill, which I encourage everyone to do, I see nothing in it that retards the growth and development of the culture. But instead, it is progressive in its content, and it seeks to give Junkanoo the kind of prominence that it deserves, while simultaneously expanding.
Sound like a politician. I see Kermit.
Kermit, I reading fast to see the name at the bottom of the letter. Junkanoo the kind of prominence that it deserves, while simultaneously expanding the level of management and opportunities for Bahamians in general, rather than continuing to benefit a few. How is it that two individuals could be allowed to disrupt the premier cultural event in the country because they are unhappy with the government's attempt to improve a system in response to the wishes of the people, which resonated loud and clear in 2024 when the last coup d'etat was staged by the JCNP? This language is very heavy, writer. The government at that time complied with their demands in an attempt to save the Boxing Day and New Year's Day parades, and for our many guests and Bahamians alike. Due to the success that Dion and Silbert enjoyed last year, they are now emboldened in attempting the same old play, which was only successful because it exploited the Bahamian people and their love for the culture. I cry shame on you who sit back and allow these self-centered individuals to have their own way. Let's show them the Junkanoo is bigger than them, and let's continue to transform this cultural expression for the benefit of all. To the government, I say, remain steadfast, unmovable, and continue to represent the voices of all Bahamians who are concerned with building up
Office of the Prime Minister?
rather than breaking down.
Does that sound like for the Office of the Prime Minister?
Listen, it says signed a concerned and well-informed Bahamian, 22nd of July. Let me just say this. Writer, you can't be calling people them name like that and such heavy what would you say assertions. And you can't do that without calling your own name, man. Writer,
I sure that person named Ramming. That person named Ramming? You sure?
Boy, listen, but Ramin name been all over the place, you know.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. I see you call us when we come back from this commercial break. Kermit, got to make it short. We have people calling, man. We can go straight to the callers and then we see what else we get to read.
Writer, you can't be calling Silbert and Dion Miller them name like that and you don't put your own name. You see me here on the radio catching blows. I use my real name, not my government name.
Okay. And we'll be right back.
Have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Groner. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
As a local Bahamian bank, we believe that Bahamian businesses are the backbone of our society. At Fidelity, we proudly fuel the dreams of our local entrepreneurs looking to expand. Ready to grow your business? Apply for a Fidelity commercial loan today. Call 356-7766.
We're good for you. For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Hey boys, how y'all doing, man? What kind of music y'all like?
I like R&B.
Man, put that music playing in the background. That's break and scrape and jump the new. That's beating.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. We go straight to the callers here. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM. Thanks for holding.
Mr. Newry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're live. Turn on your radio. Go ahead, it's you.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead. Turn on your radio and go ahead.
Yes, I disagree with these callers who call bigging up this government. This government can't hardly get anything right. They don't need to mess with that Junkanoo, because I think if they mess with that, they can make it waste. Leave Junkanoo alone. This government can't hardly get the small things done, and they're trying to mess with that Junkanoo. Leave that Junkanoo. Leave that. They can sort it out, but this government don't need to mess with the Junkanoo.
Okay.
Leave that alone, because they can make it waste. They can't even get it small, clean up the street and small things, and they tell them to mess with Junkanoo.
Okay.
They ain't ready.
I appreciate
they should be the last set to talk about getting things right, because they can't get nothing, hardly anything right.
Okay, thank you very much.
I just want to say, like, I appreciate you so much, right? Because there are many people who, that's not an easy choice, right? There are many people who wished that they could see a more functional operation, right, or management with JCNP. They don't want it to be in government's hand, but I think that the government does have a responsibility to respond to things.
Let me ask you that.
Yeah.
Does the government have a responsibility to the Bahamian people to make sure Junkanoo is put on? And when I ask that question, that person, if that is true, if they have a responsibility, that means the Junkanoo parade, the national parade, does not belong to the JCNP, but it belongs to the Bahamian people, and
Listen,
who is responsible is by the government.
The Junkanoo, let's go to the logic. The Junkanoo parades, the Junkanoo itself does not belong to the JCNP. The JCNP is a management entity. If the members of the JCNP were not group members, group leaders, group representatives, there would be no problem. You see what I'm saying?
So that's where the problem
conflict of interest, the problem arises with the conflict of interest that arises when group members are making decisions about group behavior or actions without any mechanisms to ensure transparency and proper fairness.
I hear you. Let's quickly read that so we go to the callers. I see all the lines blinking, but let's read that this note again.
Text says, I have a serious concern. Well, the letter says, I have a serious concern with the way some so-called representatives within the JCNP are operating. Too many decisions are being made on behalf of the wider membership without any proper consultation or open dialogue. If you carry the title of representative, then act like one. Represent your people, engage with them, and involve them in key matters. Time and time again, we hear threats of boycotts, parade cancellations, and, quote, we ain't Russian, close quote, statements. Speak for yourself when you say that not all members share that stance. In fact, many members of the JCNP don't even participate as full Junkanoo rushers. They serve as marshals or simply wear vests during the parade. How can groups stand together in unity to suspend practices or make critical decisions, yet those decisions aren't even communicated to the people they impact the most, the members? Let's not forget it's the government that provides seed funding to the organizations and groups. JCNP manages, their corporate sponsors I guess JCNP manages what they receive from corporate sponsors, but it does not exist in a vacuum. You cannot operate like you're independent of the government or the member groups that give the JCNP its legitimacy, yet still needs them. I take issue with decisions being made behind closed doors, with no transparency and no input from the very members you claim to represent. This needs to change, no sugarcoating. And another thing, how does an organization threaten to expel its own members for doing what they've always done? Practice. Let's be clear. Junkanoo groups are independent entities. The JCNP does not secure sponsorships or funding on behalf of the groups. That's something we work hard to do on our own. Our practices aren't just rehearsals, they double as fundraisers. So when you suspend or cancel practices without consultation, who compensates for the financial loss? Certainly not the JCNP. This rushed and heavy-handed stance and the habit of alarming the public with threats of parade cancellations is not only unproductive, it's dangerous. It damages the integrity of the entire Junkanoo community. This is not how representation works. Speak with your membership, let the people decide. Enough of the top-down decisions and strong-arm tactics. We deserve transparency, accountability, and dialogue, nothing less. Written by Jimmy Codine. Now, here's the irony. JCNP operating just like the government. That's the jokiest part.
just like the government.
And see, that's the problem, government, right? Those who you supervise, like, you have to cause and compel them to moderate the behavior. And the way to do that is by moderating your own behavior. The other thing is, I don't think people, like, there are real issues that would cause the government to have to come in. You extracting up to, $40 million from the wider economy, and you're just talking about, oh, yeah, we do that every year, but we could shut down Junkanoo anytime. You still ain't got bathrooms in every single shack.
Yeah, something wrong. Let's go to the callers then.
Prodigal sons can't get to bay.
And get ready to text. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM, CA Newry. Go ahead.
CA Newry.
Hey.
Miss Green.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Brother Newry, let me say something.
Go ahead, man.
There's only 2 more major parades before the next general election. You only got 1 more Boxer Day, 1 more New Year's Day parade before the next election. I guarantee you that. Why don't Mr. Davis step into this and shut this down for now? Okay, let's shut this down for now, and let's let the JCNP or whoever they name, let them continue for this next 6 months. You only got 6 more months, 5 more months. It's not July. Let's deal with this next year. They only have 2 more. They only have 2 more major parades.
You think things will change next year?
Yeah, only 2 more. Christmas and Boxing Day. Election has to be before October of next year.
But let me interrupt you. You saying that, let's say they suspended until next year to deal with it.
Yeah, let's do it at next year.
And the listen. And the JCNP said, no, we're not changing our stance. What happens then?
Next year?
Yeah.
If they say they ain't changing it, so you'll be able to deal with it better because you have more time. Right now, you only have 5 more months before the Boxing Day parade.
Deal with it how?
You can deal with it next year. You'll be able to then sit down now until next year to put your ducks in a row and have your things set up properly, because I see where the Junkanoo people, what the Junkanoo people are saying, and I see what the government people are saying. Do you know all of those bleachers that be downtown? Government is responsible for paying for the rental of them, but the government don't get $1 of the money when they make of those bleachers.
So we need to deal with this now then.
The lights downtown. Government has to pay BC for all of that light. The Junkanoo people don't do nothing. All of the police stores were downtown, the security. Government has to pay for all of that. So government has a hand in this.
But JCNP say no.
But okay, don't let no police go downtown for Junkanoo Boxing and still laughing. Don't put down no bleachers. Let's see where they can get they money to pay the winners.
I appreciate you.
Let the government tell BBC, BPL, or BP, whoever, don't put up no light.
Hold on, you could imagine that they.
Thanks very much,
you could imagine that they paid the JCNP, right? What figure they? Somebody said $45 million. They say they would have to pay them.
Yeah, JCNP one
right?
charge.
You could imagine that agreement comes to bear, and then the least expensive ticket for Junkanoo is $25.
Let's go to the next caller. Guardian Radio AM. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Good day.
Turn on your radio and go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, man, I do.
Where you going?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi,
Mia, go
you
ahead.
back, you back.
Yeah, sorry about my phone, man. You know, I don't know.
Go ahead.
But sorry about that. You can hear me?
Yeah, man,
go ahead.
Be good.
Okay, yeah, I really agree with some of the callers when it relates to the government, you know, standing down, right? With this John Canoe saga, right? Because you know it appears that that it's too much conflict of interest from all angles, right? It's like people have all type of other agendas other than protecting the cultural identity of John Canoe. Like, for instance, the caller with Jessica, he said, you know, what the PLP needs to do is just wait till the general election subsides and then deal with it. Deal with it how? Right? Deal with it means that we could deal with them however we want to deal with them. No. We need to deal with this matter today, right now, because why? This is one of the last cultural expression we have. When it identifies us as who we are, right? So this we need to really and truly protect this, right? And the politicians, they can't have their hand in everything because while yes they're responsible for paying, right? Making sure the administration part of these things are taken or carried out. Yeah.
Hello?
Control, right? They should not have the control over everything because we need local development, and we can't get that if the politicians them hand dabbling and everything. You guys have a nice day.
I appreciate you. Let me see if I can squeeze this next caller in, Kermit. Go ahead, caller. You live.
Hi, good afternoon. C.A. Newry and Miss Green. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good, thank you.
Good. So I've listened to the previous callers, and I just have one question. What I'm trying to understand is why are some of us under the perception that the government is trying to control? I would like to think that John Canoe is something that should be evolving, and with evolution comes change. So the way we did it yesterday or even this morning, we may have to alter that. And this is consultation going on now. Consultation, to my knowledge, hasn't even started as yet. So I don't understand how is it the JCMP got to their decision. I agree with you, Ms. Green, when you say they're behaving the same way they're suggesting the government behaves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wanting to have that control. If John Canoe belongs to the people, then why not, like the text said, have your meeting, get the feedback, and then you make a decision. But I don't understand the way they're behaving. And to your point earlier, Ms. Green, about the court ruling that was just totally disregarded,
yes.
I believe Mr. Davis doesn't need to step in. There's a Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, and they need to do away with Mr. Miller. They need to, because it's a blatant disregard, disrespect, everything for the law in the land. And if you're going to go to that extent, then I don't think you could be trusted with anything else. Thank you.
It's 12 o'clock. Are you able to read one text? Just one.
I can read the one. I am a John Canoe. The Spirit is a real John Canoe group. We register. Don't mind, there's plenty white people in it. We is rush and we pace and we cowbell. The text says, morning, Aaron, the whole idea about government controlling John Canoe is because of the brother. They need to do that before they lose the election. I mean, maybe the Valley Boys, see, that's a Valley Boys thing, right? But maybe that's a PR issue for the Valley Boys. They better get it together. Fox Hill, John Canoe coming up, and the only time I miss it in over 20 years was during COVID. All right, John Canoe, who you listening to? You listening to the people? You listening to the government? Or you listening to your own lying heart? I don't know.
Okay. This has been Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. Have a good day. Let me go.
Is it Aaron Green from The Spirit, the greatest scrap group in the history of John Canoe? White people in the whole world except
Lord
for the
have mercy.
pigs and the Methuselahs.
Yes. Yes. Tomorrow. is
Text
another day.
talking about they don't rate me. No, they don't rate me. I don't mind.
No. Thank you very much, Kermit. I appreciate you.
Didn't give to you. Let's show God be grateful by using our Junkanoo. Oh, reggae is sweet, soca is fine. Rap may be popular, but the Junkanoo is mine. Reggae is sweet, soca may be fine. The rap is popular, but the Junkanoo is mine. Mine, oh mine, 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 the Junkanoo is mine. Victory, victory, victory is mine. I got it in my soul since Jesus made me whole. Victory, victory, victory is mine. Oh, victory today is mine. Oh, it's mine. Yes, it's mine. I say it's mine. Yes, it's mine. All mine. Oh, it's mine. Oh, it's mine.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com.